like a walk in the park for her. That's amazing. This is a monster vocalist. Seriously, what's in the water over there? Hey guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whichever applies to you. Welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Julia. I'm a contemporary singing specialist based in Australia, and today I am returning to the Wish Bus. Yes, we're going back to the Wish Bus because every performance that I've listened to from this particular channel, or location rather, has been amazing. I am going to be listening to, for the first time, Miss Regine Velasquez, and if I have mispronounced her name, I am so sorry. I was only able to find one interview where they actually said her name at the beginning, and that is how the person pronounced it. So I just rolling with that. If I have messed it up, please type it in the comments on how it is actually pronounced, because I like going to the effort of pronouncing people's names correctly. But this one was tricky. I clicked on many interviews to try to find someone saying her name, and only just that one. We're gonna dive on into this performance of Araw-Gabi. Could have also butchered that, but regardless, we're going to dive on in and have a listen to what Regine sounds like, because this song was requested a really long time ago, so I'm glad that I'm finally getting around to it now. But we're gonna dive on in.
Wish.
Not even 3 seconds in, I already know she's amazing. That flexibility, the vowel work, no, she's not tight, no tension, nothing. I'm already excited and we haven't even gotten into it yet. All right, let's restart that again. But that is already a really strong indicator to me that I'm in for a treat. All right.
Wish 107.5.
Di biro ang sumulat ng awiting para sa'yo, para akong isang siraulong hilo at lito. Sa akin pang mina ng piano, tiklado'y pilit nilaro. Baka sakaling merong tonong bigla na lang umusbong. Tungkol saan naman kayang awiting para sa'yo? Di biro ang gawing sukat ang titik sa tono. 10 man aking diksyonaryo kung ang tugma'y tiwasto. Basta't hindi magbabago damdamin ko sa'yo. Araw-gabi, nasa isip ka, napapanaginip ka, kahit saan magpunta. Araw-gabi, nalalasing sa tuwa, kapag kapiling ka. Araw-gabi tayong dalawa.
The expressiveness in her dynamics, the way in which she's able to manage them, this is gorgeous. And you can just hear the experience in her vocals. I mean, you can see that she's an older vocalist, and you can hear in her tone that she's got a very developed instrument, but it's also the way in which she approaches the music. I mean, she's reading lyrics there. And in the beginning, I didn't see the piece of paper, but I could see her eyes ducking down. I was like, oh, she's reading lyrics. So she is reading lyrics and still able to sing with that level of sensitivity. Like, the experience that this gorgeous voice must have, the practice, the hours to be able to read and still make it sound that expressive, that is amazing. That's amazing. Do not underestimate it. Reading something is sometimes the fastest way for a vocalist to suddenly disconnect. It becomes emotionless. There's no expressiveness in the musicality, like the phrasing becomes blocky and boring. The dynamics don't change. This is really, really impressive. Like, this is something that I would aspire for every vocalist to get to, that point where you've actually put in the time where you have this much expressiveness, and for it to still come out even as you're reading the lyrics for something like that. That's amazing. I will break down a little bit more later on, but for now, we've got some great vowel work. I can hear a little bit of aspiration, and there are a couple of times where it sounds like the vocal folds aren't quite wanting to draw close, perhaps as much as she wants it to, so it's letting that air through. Not sure if deliberate, not sure if maybe she's been feeling a little run down, maybe she's a little bit sick or fatigued, that can contribute to that as much as it could be an artistic choice. So we're going to keep going. This is gorgeous. Her musicality is stunning. She goes from these wide sounds into something that's really forward and sweet. Just, I said I wasn't going to explain more. I'm going to stop. We're going to keep watching, and then I will hopefully be able to break down a little bit more of what she's doing. As we know, when I hear something amazing, it turns off the technical brain, and I'm just too busy living my best. This is an amazing vocalist life right here that I'm listening to. My ears are being blessed. So let's keep going.
Piling ka, araw-gabi tayong dalawa. Biruin mong nasabi ko ang nais kong ipahati. Dapat mo lamang mabatid laman itong dibdib.
Ooh, that fast change further up, she manages to transfer this sweetness, this twanginess up in ways that are highly flexible. She hits it so accurately as well. And this is interesting because she's actually got points of tension in some of her vowel work in places. You sometimes don't expect as much flexibility as what she's demonstrating when you start to hear some of those tension points creeping into vowels. But God, she's just doing amazing. That was really beautiful.
Dapat mo lamang mabatid laman itong dibdib. Tila 10 daang awitin ang natapos kong likhain. Ito ang tunay na damdamin, tanggapin at tingin. Araw-gabi, nasa isip ka, napapanaginip ka, kahit saan magpunta. Araw-gabi, nalalasing sa tuwa kapag kapiling ka. Araw-gabi tayong dalawa. Araw-gabi tayong dalawa.
The flexibility hints earlier, she's not disappointing. I was like, I can already feel it. I can sense it in my bones. We've got a flexible voice here. That's amazing. And she's starting to extend her phrases too. You can hear that she's starting to spend longer without a breath in certain phrases that she's delivering. So this is a masterclass here. All right, let's keep listening. I'll break down some of that in a moment. Not all voices can move as flexibly as what she's doing here. So this is impressive. As much as we hear people use riffs and runs in a lot of popular music, not every voice can move how she just did, flexibly out of a belt and maintain that tone that she had. Usually you'd hear people working a lot harder to be able to do what she just did.
Tayong dalawa. Araw-gabi tayong dalawa. Araw-gabi tayong dalawa.
1075.
Oh my God. It was like a walk in the park for her. That's amazing. I did mispronounce the name of this song. I can tell that the emphasis is on the B in Araw-Gabi, not Araw-Gabi. I'm so sorry. I pronounced it like Abu Dhabi. Damn it. Anyway, some incredible singing happening at the end here. I cannot wait to break it down with you. So let's go back to the beginning of this section. I want to find where the modulation was. So she changed keys. Modulation means to change key. In this case, it modulated higher, which means the notes that she's singing after the key change are higher. Even though they're repeated, the melody is the same and she's doing all this acrobatic stuff. She's in fact doing it in a higher key. Not everyone can manage a modulation because where they start might be the top of their range. So there's no way they can modulate because they literally won't be able to sing it in the new key. So I want to find where the modulation is because that's when we started really ramping up.
Araw-gabi nalalasing sa tuwa kapag kapiling ka. Araw-gabi tayong dalawa. Araw-gabi tayong dalawa.
Sustained belt there. My brain is just like, holy crap. Flexibility out of that belt is insane. All right, so I'm thinking maybe she is a little fatigued because we had a crack in that sound there that didn't sound like an intentional crack, but she changed registers there. So when she went up onto that higher note, she's in a second register, or some people might call it a light first register. The vocal folds are longer and they are thinner. So up there, it is easier sometimes to have little cracks happen, especially when you're anticipating a more mass heavy sound on the way out of it. So when she's going back to this belt, there is more vocal fold mass involved in this sound, and then everything else has to align so it still sounds powerful. If you put too much mass in, you might not be able to hit the note. So she's got to have this fine balance of enough mass for it to sound like a belt, good arrangement in the vocal track for it to still sound powerful, but not so much mass that she can't hit the note or it sounds too heavy or it's too much of a strain. You might hear other vocal coaches call that pulling chest. We're not pulling chest here today. Today we are doing an excellent management of mass and mixing as she goes up onto these sounds. Oh my. That's our modulation there. We can hear how the tone has changed. It is raised. So where is she going up there now? So da da. So we got up to this D5. Nice. Already solo belting note to have to sustain on and then come out of. E5, so she's gone even higher. So we've got this D5 on this belt, and now she's gone up with this E5 on this belt. She's really mixing heavy there, but she's still got mass in her sound. She's not going to what some people might call a faux belt, where she's in her second register and just making it really twangy so it sounds really powerful, a la classical vocalists. They have really heavy, powerful sounds up around this E5, F5, although it can be like the passaggio for a lot of them actually, but you can still have a really powerful sound, but it's not necessarily of the same flavor of a contemporary vocalist belting. So she's carrying up enough mass there for it to still be classed as a belt, but not for it to sound like she's in second register, just trying to make it sound like she's belting. She has not changed to second register here. We are still definitely mixing, and we're coming from our first register there. She's going from the bottom up on this belt here. So we have that mass there, but she's relinquished enough weight that it's not like she can actually hit the note still. All right. And then coming out of it. great R&B run coming out of there. Oh, that just sat really nicely stylistically. As someone who appreciates R&B, like classic blues, soul singers, this kind of run just sounded amazing. The other thing that I just wanted to mention though is as she's coming out of this sound,
Kahit saan magpunta, araw-gabi.
you can see the difference in mouth shape as she goes down for the lower notes compared to the high notes. Her mouth is in quite a big square shape when she's up on that belt, and there is a reason for that. You know how I mentioned before, she has this great mix, which is allowing her to still take up enough mass. She's going from first register up, not second register down. You need that big mouth because now you're up high. You need to actually change the shape within your vocal tract so you can have a powerful sound that is comfortable. If you are up here around this E, F, and you are planning on doing a contemporary belt and your mouth is not open, it's going to be uncomfortable for one. Two, you might not even hit the note. It just won't sound right. It won't feel right. So you see that big square mouth she's got going there? That is a classic belter's bell. She's gone way past the shape that you would normally get around a B flat or a C. This D, E flat, F higher. You're going to see the mouth open a hell of a lot more, and there's a legitimate reason why, and it's because if the mouth is not open enough, the shape on the in the inside of the vocal tract is not going to be small enough for her to be able to get comfortable power in that belt. So it's the shape in the vocal tract that we actually get, not the mouth opening. It's the shape at the back that you're gunning for with that big mouth. So let's keep going. Oh, and then coming out of it, she's a lot smaller because she doesn't need it anymore. That was the reason why I brought that up.
Lasing sa baha kapag kapiling ka, araw-gabi tayo dalawa.
Oh, damn. Okay, so all right. I thought she went higher. We're now up on that F sharp 5, ladies and gentlemen. That is really flipping high. And she's up there and she's flexible out of it. This is a monster vocalist. Holy moly. Seriously, what's in the water over there? This is F sharp 5. That's high. That is high. Damn. Wow. I'm speechless. Ironic because I've been rambling this whole time, gushing rather about the amazing stuff that she is doing, but sometimes it's just you're awed by someone's range. Like literally just awed by the things that they can do, the access that they have, the ease at which they move through something. This is incredible singing. You can actually hear some distortion in that sound there. Let's go back and we'll re-listen. So distortion can happen if you're highly compressed. I get distortion in my belting as I go higher for the same reason. So she's come out of that higher belt, no distortion, and you can start to hear a little bit of a crackle, a little bit of a static in that sound. And then she manages it beautifully into something with a balanced vibrato. That sweet roundness to her vowel work is back as she comes out of this phrase. The management skills are just bow down. The skills to manage out of a high energy belt like that, flexible, distortion, but not to the point of cracking and screwing up, because that can happen too. Distortion into something that is sweet and round and more pulled back dynamic, the expressiveness of this. The ease of access that she has up there, the biggest indicator is not actually that she hit the note. It's that she's come out of it so easily and now she's back in a lighter mechanism and is managing it flawlessly. Usually the softer dynamics are the first thing to go if you are overworking up top. If you're overworking up top, it means your vocal folds are slamming together. This can cause swelling, and it is that same swelling that can then make your quieter dynamics later a real issue to try and coordinate. So the fact that she can go from such a loud dynamics into something that is softer, this is a well-coordinated instrument, thoroughly enjoyable performance, very expressive. The ease at which she was just sitting at this table, handling that modulation, handling the dynamic changes, her phrasing while reading, like that's amazing. That is truly amazing. Anyways, that is it from today's video. Thank you so much for joining me. If you did enjoy this video, please be sure to give it a like, click the subscribe button and the bell notification beside it for more just like this one. As usual, I hope you're staying safe. I hope you are staying healthy, and I will see you next time. Bye. I am checking out someone on the Wish bus. Every time I go to say Wish bus, every time I say Wish bus, Wish bus.